Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Florida.
One of the busiest sports days in Philadelphia this year. Marlins, Phillies, NFL draft is going on. 10 relays start today as well. And the best weather we've had on this zigzaggy coast-to-coast road trip, which ends today. And the Marlins, with a win, would finish at 500. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. Let's get right into it. This ball game is all about the mound. All about 60 feet 6 inches and starting pitching. Let's start with Edinson Volquez, who's pitched well here, but he needs a good start to kickstart 2017.
He has pitched very, very well here at Citizens Bank Ballpark. That's what you want to know. 189 ERA in his career. So good success, good history, but he needs to step up. This is a big start for him today. Why do you ask? Because I think he's been okay so far this season. He hasn't been great, and I think this is a big opportunity. You want to win a baseball game. You want to go home on a high note, and to your point, we've been on the road a very long time.
All right, if you want great, just go to the other side, and in a Philly uniform is Jeremy Hellickson. Not only has he been great this year, but he's been great against the Marlins, and dating back to midseason last year, he's one of the best starters in all of baseball. I think he's a well-kept secret.
Well, there's no doubt about that, and he's been pitching great. Opening day starter, has the best changeup right now statistically in all of baseball. Has only given up 2 hits on the pitch. You're going to see changeups, you're going to see sliders, you're going to see a spotted fastball, and some history. He's been very good against those Marlins.
You are going to see in this one a lot of sunshine, and that's a good feeling in Philly. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Day baseball from Philly. Fish trying to get a split in this 2-gamer. Trying to go home at 500 on the road trip. First pitch is coming up. big day in sports in Philly, and it starts here with Jeremy Hellickson facing the Marlins. Edinson Volquez goes for the fish. Hellickson on the mound, getting ready to go. The 30-year-old, the former Rookie of the Year with the Tampa Bay Rays. D. Gordon's in the box. Martin Prado, Christian Yelich will follow. Last night, Phillies a 7-4 win as they popped 3 homers against the Marlins, including a grand slam by Maikel Franco. Gordon hit the first pitch last night for a triple. He takes this one down low, a fastball from Hellickson, and we're underway.
D. Gordon has the responsibility of making things happen here at the top of the lineup. The one guy that has pretty good numbers against Hellickson coming into today's ball game.
Gordon bunts, drops it down. Hellickson approaches, bare hands, throws, and got him. Remember, Hellickson shared in the Gold Glove Award in 2012 when he won that Rookie of the Year, so he could pick it as well. And right in the shadows of Ashburn Alley, here's the Marlins lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You've met Gordon, Martin Prado next, Christian Yelich hits third. Giancarlo Stanton has struggled against Hellickson. Marcelo Zuna's in left. JT Realmuto, another nice night last night. Realmuto with a couple of hits. Justin Bour looked good at the plate. And boy, Danny Echeverria, this is his best ballpark in the majors. So 1 out on the bunt. Here's Prado now. Todd Hollinsworth, you were known as a professional hitter. Marlins have not had a lot of success against Hellickson. What's the approach and what are we looking for at home to see if they are having some success?
Well, the interesting thing about Jeremy Hellickson, when you look at his numbers, you see the 1.88 ERA in the 4 starts this year. He's been very good. He's pitched as an ace would pitch by definition. Now, he's been very good against the lefties, 4 for 41. Horrible numbers there. He's actually been just as good against righties. Righties only hit 227 against him. The one thing that stands out is this. He's only struck out 10 hitters in those 24 innings. And I said a 1.88 ERA. Well, what does that tell you? He doesn't walk guys. You've got to stay inside the baseball. It's about depth. When you talk about Hellickson, he's got one of the best changeups in the game. He's got a good slider. It's not about getting the barrel out. It's about letting the ball get as deep as it can get on you. Now, it's not, I mean, in a lot easier said than done. But what you think about doing is just letting that ball travel up on you as long as you can and maybe go up the middle or the other way.
And that swing by Prado's a great example of it. He was out in front, hit it off the end of the bat. Here's a 1-2 coming. And there's that changeup that literally drops off the sink.
And it's a great take right there by Martin Prado. He was really honed in. You saw the eyes. He even tracked that baseball all the way to the glove, and that's what you have to do. You just want to let the baseball travel and get as deep as it can.
2 balls, 2 strikes. A fastball. Prado busts his bat into left field. Daniel Nava's out there in left, and he makes the catch. And for Pete Buchanan today, he's got a little different lineup. Here's the defense for the Phillies.
Well, he's going to get some of his bench players some opportunity today, and why not? Hellickson's been so good so far this year. You see Daniel Nava getting the start in left field, Herrera in center, Saunders in right, around the infield, Franco, Galvis, Blanco getting the start, and Stassi over there at first base. Knapp, their number 2 catcher, is going to be catching Jeremy Hellickson. And that's just it. You saw the great equalizer. That's what Hellickson's been doing so well this year. You talked about it. Martin Prado broke his bat right there because he's thinking, let that ball get deep. Hellickson came inside with a fastball, 90 miles an hour. It's not overpowering, but again, Martin Prado, right approach, just didn't get that good result quite yet.
Now Yelich. Best numbers of the Marlins lineup against Hellickson belong to Yelich. They're not overpowering. He's 6 for 20 with a double. Even Ichiro has bad numbers against Hellickson. Obviously, Ichiro not in the starting lineup. Yelich, 2 hopper down to first. Stassi has it. And that, my friends, is Jeremy Hellickson Phillies and Phils are underway. And the Phillies hot right now. They have won 5 straight. These two teams are tied at 10-9, second in the East Southwest with the Phillies lineup. Daniel Nava start in left. Couple switch hitters out of the gates. Freddie Galvis homered yesterday. Odubel Herrera's in center. Mikhail Franco at third base. Michael Saunders, the veteran, in right. Andres Blanco, the versatile one, is at second. Brock Stassi, kind of the storybook for the Phils fans. Really an underdog at first. Andrew Knapp gets the start behind the plate. And Jeremy Hellickson hits ninth. And here is Edinson Volquez on a mound and in an environment that he's had success, but he hasn't pitched here in a while.
Well, you know, and that's a great point. You know, and we think that way in baseball, historically speaking. But you see the numbers, the 1.89 ERA. You know, I'll play the Echeverria card right here. Walks right back into the building and just picks up where he left off and throws 3 hits out there last night. For Edinson Volquez, let's hope that's the case today. Today is a big start. It's been a long road trip. These guys want to win a ball game. They want to go home 500. They want to think that the 7,000 plus miles was well worth it.
Nava takes a strike. Nava, one of the more intriguing stories in baseball over the last 7 or 8 years. He's now 34, the switch hitter who had to play his way out of the independent league to get on the major league radar. Wasn't drafted. Red Sox signed him as a free agent. Had some really nice years as a role player in Boston. 2013, his best year, hit .303 in 134 games. Battled through a couple of organizations, minor leagues last year, had a great spring and made this team. And Volquez, who also has a good changeup, but he can rush it up there in the mid-90s, is behind in the count 3-1.
Certainly does that. This is not the sign that you're hoping for to get this game moving here, falling behind Nava 3-1. Talk about efficiency, or better efficiency, for Volquez moving forward in this ball game.
Wow, that one missed by a bunch, and a leadoff walk to Nava before Galvis digs in. Here's Miami defensively.
Now let's look at the Marlins defense. Marcell Ozuna is going to be in left field today. Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton over in right. Prado, Echeverria, D. Gordon, Justin Bour, JT Realmuto back behind the plate. Edinson Volquez on the mound. Now his last 2 starts, Edinson Volquez walked 4 hitters, and he walks the leadoff hitter here today. The one thing that really has stood out is that fastball command. That's where he's struggled, and you saw it to Nava. His fastball is running all over the place right now. By definition, it should act more like a sinker, so that you understand it actually should have more vertical movement in the strike zone, not so much horizontal. And right now it's exploding out of the strike zone.
Galvis, an aggressive swing, and he fouls it back. Freddie Galvis homering yesterday. He's got 3 homers already. Remember, last year he popped 20 out of the ballpark. By far his most productive year in the majors or the minors last year. Galvis, a 27-year-old Venezuelan. Pulls it foul, and this was his home run last night.
And he had some good swings in last night's ball game. You see that pitch out over the plate. 95-mile-an-hour fastball right there. Good swing, jumped all over it. That was from the right side. Has good numbers against Edinson Volquez from the left side as well. See that little note down there at the bottom? That's kind of a stepping stone for Freddie Galvis. His 500th big league ball game. Good for him.
When he arrived here with Charlie Manuel as the skipper, he was kind of the defensive, versatile Swiss Army knife of a player that they could put in to spell Rollins out at short, Utley at second, even get a start at third. But he and Cesar Hernandez team up to make a really good double play combination up the middle. And at first it was, hey, they're really good defensively. Now, all of a sudden, Hernandez is having a great season, had a nice year last year. They're a very potent offensive combination.
Well, and it's how they're starting to grow, and it's a good time to bring that up. You know, we've raved about how good the Marlins have been defensively this year, and they have. only 5 errors. I mean, they're leading baseball. You know who's in second place? Philadelphia Phillies. They've only committed 7 errors. They've been just as good defensively. So we talk about, well, how is this team improving? This Phillies team, they've been playing better defense. The pitching's been pretty good, and the offense has been better. It's a very similar conversation to the one that the Marlins are in. Young players stepping up, really kind of starting to come into their own.
Galvis with a count 1-2. Nava, not a base stealing threat. He's at first. And Volquez delivers. Hit hard to right field. Stanton on a hop. And Freddie Galvis is now 5 for 8 against Volquez in his career.
Freddie Galvis get that front foot down early, and you see the breaking ball splits the middle of the plate. JT Realmuto wanted that up a little bit and in a little bit more. You see the back of the glove. What does that tell you? He's kind of missing towards the middle of the plate. When you feel good against a particular pitcher, you do not miss the mistakes. Freddie Galvis rockets one into right field after getting a hanging breaking ball right there. In fact, that curveball has been problematic for Edinson Volquez. Hitters hitting .368 against that knuckle curve that you saw right there on the season. That's one of the things that really stands out as far as some of the issues he's been working through.
Here is Odubel Herrera. It always intrigues me, numbers like that, about what a certain pitch is for a certain pitcher. And while the average is black and white, what it doesn't tell is how that pitcher uses that pitch. Right. When does he use it? How does he utilize it? Right. At what point of the count? And so much of the success of one pitch depends on the effectiveness of your other pitches.
Oh, absolutely, because you're less likely to count on it. Number one, if it's proving ineffective, and at the same time, it affects your sequencing. You know, it either forces you to throw more fastballs, and early on I said, you know, does Edinson Volquez need to be more of that sinker ball pitcher? I mean, there's also evidence there. Throughout his career, he always gets more ground balls than fly balls. Right now, it's even.
And you brought that point up before when we talk about Junichi Tazawa and his struggles this year. He has that fork ball, or the splitter, if you will, that is so devastating, but he can't throw his fastball for strikes, and so nobody worries about the splitter. 1-1 pitch coming here to Odubel Herrera, Phillies center fielder. Slow roller, Prado picks. Gordon, nice turn. Oh, it gets away from Bohr, and racing home is Nava. With Herrera, the left-handed bat, Gordon was over towards first, and he arrived at the bag just as the throw did and made an off-balance turn.
Now you see right here the pivot. Gordon gets a strong throw off, but not an accurate one. Justin Bohr has to come off the bag and try and keep that ball in front of him. Unable to do that. That allows Nava, who's hustling around third base, to get a good read on this. Once he sees the ball gets away, then he's on his way home.
It'll be an E4, which allows Nava to go third to home. Herrera stays at first, and here is Franco, who blasted his second grand slam of the month last night. No RBI on that, but regardless, it's 1-0 Phillies. And Volquez misses in.
Well, and that's a byproduct of the traffic being out there, as I alluded to a little earlier. You know, 4 walks in the last 2 starts. Walks turn into runs, especially leadoff walks. So the Philadelphia Phillies capitalizing early.
Runner goes, and a stolen base, and that one's on Volquez.
Pretty good example of the relentlessness of the game of baseball. They know that Edinson Volquez is struggling with his command right now. The shift is on right there. Gets a great jump on Edinson Volquez. Kind of falls asleep, more focused on his pitch to home than making sure that Herrera is staying close over there at first base. Going to pick up the stolen base.
So Franco now with a runner in scoring position. Big lead by Herrera at second. And Volquez sees that. And you got the sense that if Volquez had come home, he may have bolted for third. An enormous lead. Gordon.
Well, in all honesty, the way Franco was swinging the bat last night with the base open, you really have to kind of consider this. But Herrera is clearly considering getting himself to third base. That's kind of the equalizer, is to using that base that's open. He wants to get to third base and get himself into scoring position. Maikel Franco, he was 3 for 4 last night with a grand slam. He's got 11 RBIs in his last 6 ball games, and oh, by the way, 20 on the season. So despite just getting his batting average over 200 for the first time last night, you see it right there, 203. He's got 20 RBIs.
First full season in the major leagues last year, and he had a good one. He is running, pitches in. Real Muto's throw on the bag, and Prado has the glove down in time. There's a great pitch to throw on by Real Muto, up and in, and it took him right towards the bag at third.
Now, Rich, you were all over that one, and I think you smelled it out, and so did the Marlins right here. Kind of gave it away, catching a whole lot of attention over at second base. JT's got an easy target, nice line right there. Martin Prado slides in and gets a great tag down here. You see that? It's exactly what you want to do.
Ooh. Does he come off the bag? I don't know. That's one that the Phillies may challenge, and I think they are. In super slow motion, does he come off? Well, the glove is with him. And of course, the initial call holds so much weight. You have to have just 100% sure that if you're going to overturn it, it has to be clear and convincing evidence that the call should be overturned. I don't know, in watching either of those super slow motion shots, if you've got that evidence.
Right. I'm not sure that you do either, but you were all over it. I mean, that's an ill-advised goal right there by Herrera. I mean, everybody in the building kind of got the sense that he was getting antsy over there. But it's got to be 100. You know, you've got to have enough evidence to overturn this, and I'm not sure that there is enough evidence.
Prado actually,
here's going to be a good look at it.
In watching a replay up on, you could see the umpires looking at the replays. Prado went back down with the glove as well as he was gliding over and around the bag.
See, what you can't tell is when Prado's glove goes down, where exactly, yeah, see right there.
Well, you can see he leaves the bag with the hand.
But does his knee get there in time?
I think the point is you can't tell.
Right, well, absolutely.
Which means they may have a hard time overturning this.
There you
He's
go.
out.
Yep.
Now, if it's call stands, and it is call stands, that means there wasn't enough evidence to overturn, and there wasn't enough evidence to confirm the call. So aggressiveness by the Phillies. Watch Prado go in a second time with the glove. He rides him.
He's on him the whole time right there, but a lot going on over there at third base. And knees and elbows and feet and gloves and side of the bag and switching hands.
And a messy inning gets messier for Volquez as he walks Franco. And it's the second walk he's issued. You know, another thing that whole sequence illustrates is how hard it is to umpire this game.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched, what, 4 different views in super duper slow motion? And the umpires get one look, and it's high speed.
And there's no go backs.
No.
No going back. You don't get to reconsider.
Saunders now, he pumped one out of here yesterday. And Volquez, who is a complete contrast to the first inning from Hellickson, is battling through it. 18 pitches here. Hellickson threw 9 in his first inning.
And unfortunately, falling behind hitters. This is not the inability to put hitters away. This is actually falling behind hitters. See that fastball right there? Let's take a look at this fastball one more time just so the fans at home. I talk about the word sinker, but see how that ball's running? See how it's running off the plate? And that's what he's failing to control, and that's why the ball is getting itself outside the strike zone. What he needs to get is a little bit more vertical. It is part of his arsenal, the two-seamer sinker. But what evidence do we have statistically so far this season that he's given up just as many fly balls as ground balls?
That's a scorcher. Gordon goes down to a knee to get it, and the Phillies are done. Just a run on a hit and an error. A couple of walks, a stolen base, 1-0. Great shot from the Comcast building, downtown Philadelphia. Mike Schmidt is here. Good to see. And here's Giancarlo. He swings and misses. Now this is a true test for Stanton's new approach and the success that he's had. His contact rate this year is the best that he's ever had. But Hellickson is absolute kryptonite to Giancarlo. There's the changeup, misses down low. To the tune of 1 for 15 with 5 strikeouts. Now he has homered. That one hit is a home run. Spins one up there. And it's 1-2.
You see the numbers, but you know what? You throw those numbers out. As long as you're hungry for it, you change your approach, think up the middle, maybe go the other way just a little bit. No reason for him not to have the success he wants.
That one fouled back, and it's 1-2.
He's got to kind of, you hear hitters use the word like grind it out, work through it, fight him. Well, I mean, that's what you're going to have to do today to beat Hellickson. It's going to be like that. It's going to be 2-strike hitting, good approach up the middle, just finding a way to battle him.
Pitch misses out, and it's 2-2. Auto Nation scouting report. What you got?
Well, you see it right there. It's kind of a cool one right off the top. 1,000 innings. That's where he's at in his career, right? We get to talk about those home-cooked fish. My goodness gracious. Good numbers against the fish. Last year was absolutely dominant. Dominant this year as well.
Stanton got jammed and sends it out to Nava.
You mentioned it earlier. The 2011 American League Rookie of the Year.
Here's Marcell Ozuna. You got JT Realmuto coming up as well. Ozuna in last night's ball game was 0 for 4 after winning National League Player of the Week. Ozuna has scuffled a bit. Marcell on this road trip is just 3 for 29, which is a 103 clip. Has homered on the trip.
He's homered against Hellickson in his career.
aside from the stuff that Hellickson has, and I like calling changeups stuff. I think people spend too much time on velocity and all of that. I think a great changeup is great stuff. But aside from that, he has a unique delivery too, kind of a pendulous, like a
hides the ball incredibly well, and that's it. The mark of a great changeup is the ability to deceive the hitter. It's not necessarily the drop in velocity. Sure, that's the result of the pitch or the extra finger or the circle change. That's getting the technical aspects of it down. It's essentially deceiving the hitter as best you can.
He almost has a knuckleball type delivery, very upright.
Well, he hides the ball particularly well, and that's what he's searching for. You see the leg go up, both of his hands are back. See, you can't see that as a hitter, and his front shoulder's turned. So you're trying to pick up on it. And what he does so well in incorporating his changeup is that the fastball and the changeup look exactly alike in presentation.
No matter how much video you watch or try to simulate, even watching your own at bats and just in talking to hitters, it doesn't come close to getting you that really good look or the feel of what you're up against.
Well, and that's just it. So much of it is about the feel, and that's what I said. You know, when we were doing the Open today, when we were coming on air, you know, talking about what do we do against Hellickson? What do you do against Hellickson? To me, it was always about thinking about a field, thinking about a direction, almost like a bow and an arrow aiming at a target. And as opposed to thinking, okay, well, I'm going to go up there and try to defend the best changeup in all of baseball, I'm just going to try to hit all the balls today to right center field or to left center field. No matter what it is, that's what I'm aiming. So playing baseball and kind of maybe incorporating a little bit of golf where you're just thinking, this is where I want to hit the baseball.
Ozuna fouls it off. And the result is, and I think we saw it with the Prado ball to left, the Stanton ball to left, is that 89 or 90 to these major league hitters all of a sudden looks like it's 97, 98, and right on top of them.
It serves its purpose on the inside part of the plate as the right-handed hitters are getting jammed a little bit, only because they're trying to let that ball get as deep as they can.
Another 3-2. Ozuna. Navas had 3 balls right about that spot, and he holds on, and there's 2 outs. Marlins are home tomorrow night, and tomorrow night is Puerto Rican Heritage Night. First 7,500 fans get a Marlins fedora hat courtesy of Leon Medical Centers, and you can purchase the Puerto Rican Heritage package, and that gets you a Puerto Rican branded Marlins jersey. Tickets at marlins.com. By the way, we wanted to express our best get well wishes to Felo Ramirez, Hall of Fame broadcaster, 94 years old. He had a fall last night outside the team hotel. He's in a local hospital, and we give him all of our best wishes and prayers and hope to see him at Marlins Park on the upcoming homestand.
Yeah, a lot of love, Felo, for you, a lot of prayers for you. We're pulling for you.
JT Realmuto, another nice night last night, 2 more hits. 6-game hitting streak. He and Justin Bour have the 2 longest hit streaks. JT going old school with the high socks and high pants. Liner left. Nava, did he get it? No. The umpire says no, that it's a trap. Realmuto around first. Now remember, the Phillies have lost their challenge, and the players are looking into the dugout like, hey, can't you challenge this? They can't challenge this.
But it hit the ground. I'm convinced of it. It did hit his glove first, but it hit the ground after it hit his glove. Watch this. I'm pretty sure about this. Watch his glove and then watch the grass in front of it. Not there. Right. No, he did. He kept it up. I think he might have caught it.
You know what? Home plate umpire Angel Hernandez just turned around and was motioning to the press box. And I don't know if he was upset that they showed the replay. I don't think there's any rule against that. But the Phillies don't have a challenge. Fans are upset. the Philly players were looking in the dugout at Pete Mackanin as if to say, hey, how come you're not challenging?
Right.
And of course, as we talk about, there is a baseball strategy towards when do you challenge, what time of the game, and what type of play. And that play at third was a risky one because I don't think there was enough evidence to overturn it. Phillies gambled, and they lose that out there. So Real Muto a hit, and here is Bohr. Bohr last night was 1 for 3. Remember, he homered on Sunday in San Diego. And he pulls that one foul, and Hellickson really crowding him. The count now 0-2.
Well, trying to set up that changeup away at some point. Hellickson trying to keep him honest on the inside part of the plate. Justin Bohr can put together some good two-strike hitting right here and make that hit stand up.
That one fouled out of play. Now Bohr is kind of like Stanton against Hellickson. He is 2 for 13. One of the 2 hits is a home run. Hellickson has given up 2 homers in 4 starts this year.
Well, you're seeing it in this at bat right now. Just you kind of go into just defense mode even before you get there. 2 strikes on him. Bohr putting together quality at bats over this 6-game hitting streak, really having to fight here.
Hellickson misses in. Real Muto, single to left. Marlins first base runner against Hellickson.
See the way the Phillies are playing him over to pull on the infield and the outfield. Now remember, Mr. Bohr has been doing a really good job going to left field. So if he gets a mistake, he might be able to do some damage to that side of the field. But again, Phillies kind of tipping their hand in how Hellickson's going to go at him. They're convinced he's going to pull the ball on the infield and outfield.
And he does after getting jammed. And Blanco flips to first. And the inning is over. Miami leaves a runner. Phillies lead the game. It's 1-0. the Marlins on television, you can sure stream them live on your mobile device. Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Florida and Marlins baseball with you wherever you go. So if you're headed to the beach, throw the tablet in there, or even on your phone. If you're out by the pool, if you're somewhere where you don't have your television, no problem. You can still catch the game. Andres Blanco, Brock Stassi, and Andrew Knapp for the Phillies. Pete McCannon using this day game to get some of his bench players starts. And Blanco is a very valuable bench player.
Well, he's got 4 of his bench players in the ball game today. You know, that also plays into what you would hope would be an aggressive Volquez start here. You're not talking about going up against the entire regular Phillies lineup.
It was an uncomfortable first inning for Volquez. He walked a couple, gave up a hit, fell behind everybody, it seemed. It's a strike there. And it's 2-1. He threw just 8 strikes out of 20 pitches in that first inning. And he's fidgeting around on the mound. He's been looking down at the area in front of the mound.
Trying to get comfortable. I mean, it's as simple as that. When we look at the numbers, we can talk about the pitches, the number of balls he's thrown, falling behind, 5 of his first 6 hitters he's faced. The reality is that he's putting himself in defense mode. He's trying to find it. He's searching for his fastball command right now, and he knows he can't get to his secondary pitches until he really hones in on something that might unlock his struggle to throw fastballs for strikes.
Juan Nieves, Miami's pitching coach. And a leadoff walk, so that's 3 walks now. Hope you join us tomorrow night. Pirates and Marlins, 6:30 for Marlins Live from Marlins Park. The one thing about Volquez is he has shown in his career, and even in his short time with Miami and pitching for Don Mattingly, that he can struggle and yet still hang in there and figure out a way to keep his team in the game, and that's the hope against a hot Phillies team. Here is Brock Stassi. Stassi out of Sacramento, Yuba City to be precise. And he's a Cinderella story, 33rd round pick, signed for a whopping $4,000. Up the middle, playing there is Echeverria, and this will be an easy 6-3 double play. And that is how Edinson Volquez is able to manage through an uncomfortable start.
That is how you do it, right? You pitch to your defense. We talked about the ground balls. Great job right there. Made a pitch and able to erase that leadoff walk. That's what you're hoping to see, and maybe that gets his confidence moving in the right direction.
Andrew Knapp now. He's from almost the same area as Stassi, out of Granite Bay High School, which is up in the Sacramento area. Played at Cal. His dad spent 11 years playing in the minor leagues. Knapp, a switch hitting catcher.
Knapp's going, where did all this come from? 2 great pitches from Edinson Volquez right there. Good 2-seam fastball running back to the inside corner. Good to see.
And he hits that one hard in the center field on an 0-2 pitch. So Knapp in his 6th start of the season. And he's aboard. It's a Jeremy Hellickson at bat. By the way, there are a few other afternoon games in Major League Baseball. Only one other is underway. And the Braves are beating the Mets again, 2-0. That's an R.A. Dickey start for Atlanta and a Matt Harvey start for the Mets. It was supposed to be a Noah Syndergaard start, which was interesting synergy there, right? Because those were 2 principals involved in the Blue Jays Mets trade. but a tired arm has Syndergaard scratched from the start. Harvey is pitching. It's 2-0 Braves, bottom 2. Here, 1-0 Phillies. An unearned run in the first. .33 pitches for Volquez, and however you do the math, it's not pretty. 19 balls, 14 strikes. But the important thing is he's given up just the 1 run.
Some better pitches here to the last few hitters, despite Knapp picking up that base hit on the 2-strike approach right there, 0-2. I mean, these have been better pitches. You're seeing his 2-seamer running back to the corner, more around the strike zone. I talk about easy takes for hitters. That's what the Phillies, the first time through, they had some very easy takes.
And he's run a 3-2 count to the pitcher, Hellickson. Knapp will be moving from first. It's a great shot. Gorgeous day. NFL draft is here. The pen relays start today. And the Phillies and Marlins playing a matinee. Runner goes, 3-2 on the ground. Echeverria on to first in time, and Volquez manages his way through the seconds. 1-0 Phillies. On AFN, the American Forces Network, 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas, more than 170 countries and naval ships as well. Welcome to you today. Welcome to Philadelphia, Marlins and Phillies. Let's check in with Jessica Blaylock. Jess?
Hey, Rich, let's take a look at a historic moment in Major League Baseball that took place last night with our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. It's Gift Ngope, the first African-born Major League Baseball player, made his debut night with the Pirates. He signed with the Buccos in 2008, and wouldn't you know, in his first ever at-bat, he singles off of John Lester. He's going to get a hit in his first AB. His teammates loved it. What a special moment for Major League Baseball. And guys, we are actually going to see him this weekend. The Marlins play the Pirates in a 3-game series. Very cool right there.
Great moment. And it's Pirates and Marlins for 3 starting tomorrow night. Here it's Fish and Phils.
Ngope's got a younger brother in the system as well. So, big moment in Pittsburgh.
Here is Echeverria. Echeverria on Marlins Live trying to explain the success he's had in this ballpark. boy, has he ever hit here, which continued last night. Behind the count at 0-2. Coors Light, cold hard facts. 3 for 4 with a double. Look at the career numbers. 4th 3-hit game against the Phils. 3rd at Citizens Bank Park.
32 games at Citizens Bank Park. He's a career .368 hitter. My goodness, just you have parks like this where you just feel that good.
Ground ball in the hole at short. Galvis loads up, fires, and just gets him.
See the quick release right there by Freddie Galvis. Strong throw across the diamond, one step. Head of Echeverria hustling all the way down the line.
So Volquez now with D. Gordon up next. It's been a good year with the bat so far for Volquez. That one having trouble out there is Blanco, and it's Stassi who makes the catch and comes over. It's good communication, a good heads up by Stassi. Blanco thankful his first baseman was paying attention.
Yeah, Stassi made sure to keep his eye on Blanco as soon as that ball goes up and able to bail him out right there. Blanco really no shot at it. And gestured after it, never saw the ball and thought it was over his head.
There's the sky right now. You've got a lot of white up there and a bright sun back behind home plate.
That squinting kind of sun that you've got out here today. You see a lot of the ball players kind of squinting with anything in the air.
Big breaking ball from Hellickson, and that's a strike. Now, in contrast to what we've seen from Volquez, look at Hellickson. And he's 15 of his last 16 pitches have been strikes. Gordon takes in.
Keep throwing those percentages out. He just threw a ball. Well, you know, the thing about it is when a guy gets into a rhythm like this, and this is what you're trying to avoid, is that he can kind of kitchen sink you. And what I mean by that is whatever's in his arsenal right now, he's throwing it for a strike. First pitch breaking ball, you see the two-seam fastball or the cut fastball. You see the changeup factoring into this, and he's just in a groove right now, and the Marlins haven't been able to get him out of it, where he is using all of his pitches whenever he wants to use them.
Gordon, little dribbler up the line. Stassi has it and tags D outs. And Jeremy Hellickson is shutting down Miami. It's 1-0 Phillies. Draft is getting ready to launch later today. Here, it's 1-0 Phils. Fish Family is the loyalty program for Marlins season ticket holders, and you can experience one-of-a-kind, behind-the-scenes bucket list type memories and experiences. Learn more at marlins.com/fishfamily. The inflatable, that means we're going to see the umpire who eats the grounds crew guy as part of the 7th inning stretch. Is it a clam? Oh, and the giant clam eats the umpire, right?
Right.
I got it all mixed up. Sorry. I got a little excited when I saw the inflatable guy out there.
What happens when you come to Philly?
It's you'll like it though. It's not Angel Hernandez, but it's a guy dressed as him that ends up in the clam. And the umpire, well, you'll just wait. You'll see.
Oh, I believe me.
Just wait.
I know where you're going with this.
Out at Chicky and Pete's, do not eat the crab fries if you're going to sit next to me, all right? We learned that with Craig Minervini.
Is that right?
Here is Nava taking a strike. Nava, Freddie Galvis, Odubel Herrera for the Phils, who have won 5 in a row, and I think very quietly have crept back up the ladder in the East. Not a good start, obviously, for Pete Buchanan's bunch, but they're 10-9. The Marlins are 10-9. Everybody looking up at the Nationals. Check swing and a swing. And that's from home plate umpire Angel Hernandez. Nava just wanted him to ask.
See, this is a great byproduct of putting yourself in position to get ahead of a hitter, and that's what you want to do. This is his changeup right there. It serves its value with 2 strikes. Whether he went or not, there was certainly some hesitation there. Watch this. This is what I want to see, is Edinson Volquez really just believing in that pitch right there and getting himself into a count to do it.
Do you think that's a swing?
I don't, but I mean, I'm playing along with the themes that I've seen this year. And goodness, we went about 15 for 15 to start the year on lefty check swings, so I don't know why that would stop now.
Yes, it was a highly...
I mean, I'm not lying with the 15 for 15, am I? I mean, really, it felt like it.
Highly unfair to you left-handed hitters. Huh?
I would have had an issue with this.
Galvis takes outside. Galvis smoked one to right. Remember his numbers. There he is. This is the old clap with the popcorn.
Cleaning crew doesn't appreciate that.
He is available for parties and bar mitzvahs, anniversaries, whatever you want. He's your guy.
Unless you're under the age of 2.
Weddings. Well, the young lady was scared of him.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Understandably. Kind of was scared of him too. When he that thing he shoots out his nose there. A little bit of a projectile.
That just means. Oh, there's the clam. See?
Yes.
Just waiting for that umpire. That's another line drive off the bat of Galvis, and that's a fair ball into the corner. Racing for second. Stanton has it. Galvis not stopping, on his way to third, and he's going to get there. The throw from Stanton went over both cutoff men, over Gordon and Bohr, and it's a triple.
See the swing right there. This ball is going to land right on the line and make its way down into the corner. Giancarlo does a nice job getting over and able to keep it from getting by, but unfortunately the throw was a little high. Everything had to be perfect to even think about having a shot at Galvis at third base. He was thinking triple all the way. As soon as that high throw came back into the infield, no shot at Galvis at third.
And now Herrera, with 1 out, has a chance to add to this 1-0 lead. Pitch is out. Let's watch where this ball lands. Right on the line. A little bit of chalk right into that weather corner where the grounds crew have their little office and their weather headquarters. Gordon, a terrific stop, and gets the out at first, but the Phillies get the run. Herrera delivers. That extra base that Galvis squeezed out of that is a big one.
Certainly is. Herrera gets a pitch to his liking, and it's a pretty good swing on it. Watch how quick D's reaction is. One step to the backhand, and quick throw over to Justin Bohr at first base, but you see the swing right there, right on time. Beautiful play by D.
Franco walked back in the first. Volquez 3 walks and now 3 hits. That one is off the glove of Prado. That's another hit. And the exit velocity is still quite high right now with some of these Phillies hitters.
Well, Maikel Franco came into this game swinging a hot bat last night, hit everything hard, including the 1 out he made. You see right here, Martin Prado more in a defensive position right there, trying to knock it down and keep it on the infield, unable to do so. Franco pulls into first base with his first base hit of the day.
Now Saunders, who bounced to second back in the first. Saunders, a guy that's represented his country in a lot of different competitions, from Little League World Series to the Olympics to the World Baseball Classic. A native of Canada, Victoria, British Columbia. In fact, they used to have a minor league team up in Victoria long ago. Beautiful, beautiful city. You'd think walking around Victoria that you were in England. I'm sure you took a field trip up there when you were going to high school in the Seattle area, swinging a miss.
To Vancouver more than Victoria.
Saunders, a breakout season last year with the Blue Jays. Played most of his career in Seattle.
Good changeup. What you've seen from Edinson Volquez so far is that competitive nature. That is part of it. Hasn't been entirely on his game, struggling with his fastball command, falling behind some hitters, but has made some pitches in a couple of key spots to keep this thing within reach.
Two and two. Saunders, a piece that the Phillies have added to this mix of really good young players. And a lot of those players over the last 2 years have been able to get a lot of experience. Guys like Galvis, Herrera, Franco, Hernandez. That's center, and that's deep. Back goes Yelich at the track. Got it! And he bangs into the wall. He opened the road trip with a catch like that and a more violent collision in Seattle. Here he makes the catch, braced himself, and still hit the barrier. Nice play by Yelich. 2-0 Phillies. second.
Of course he is. He's made a great catch.
Normally you're leading off. This is the second best
Good
thing,
enough,
right?
right? Close.
You're due up in the inning. Prado, Yelich, and Stanton. Marlins try to solve the mystery that is Jeremy Hellickson. Second time through for Miami's hitters, and the first time wasn't real pleasant. A lot of bad contact. A single by Real Muto, and that's it.
Well, hoping that Hellickson shows some more vulnerability this time through. He's been in complete control, which he really has been all season long, and that's what everybody needs to understand. Listen, Hellickson comes in, he's been hot. 188 ERA. They're winning his starts. He's making pitches. This isn't just happening against the Marlins, even though the history tells you it has happened.
Prado with a line drive into center field, and that's a base hit. Now Christian Yelich comes up. Yelich, here's the catch.
Get those feet down. Yes, sir.
Now here's the Seattle one we talked about using Fox Vision.
Well, this is fantastic. This is an absolutely beautiful catch. But the one thing that, getting to talk to Christian after this catch was the fact that, like, right there, he hits the wall so hard and he actually bounces the ball. That ball actually bounced off his chest and then back into his glove. Watch this. Boom. Boom. That ball loses itself right there off his chest, and then he puts it back at his glove, and he has to eat the wall. Now, the catch today, much smarter today, Rich. He decided to keep both feet down, stay in bounds, and secure the catch. Well, Dwight Clark.
That's a Dwight Clark reference. There you go. Prado with that base hit. He's at first. Yelich bounced out his first time up. And Yelich lifts a line drive into left center field. Prado turns second and holds there. And so Prado and Yelich with line drives to center, and we check in with Jessica Blaylock.
Yeah, Rich, we just saw that ridiculous catch that Christian Yelich made in Seattle. We also have exclusive content of what the wall looked like after Yelich ran into it. To me, it looks a lot like when Han Solo was cryogenically frozen in Star Wars. But guys, Yelich talked to us about that catch, and he said, I knew I was going to run into the wall, but Gerard Dyson had robbed me of a home run last season. I wasn't going to miss my opportunity to get back at him.
Yeah, and guys, on Seattle television after the game, Dyson was the post-game guest, and he talked about the catch he made last year and how as soon as Yelich caught it, that's all he could think about was, hey, this is payback.
And that's exactly what it was all about, was payback. Christian knew as he was chasing that ball down that he was going to get him back. That was the goal.
And the odd part about it was Edinson Volquez was the pitcher for both of those catches.
Amazing.
For the Royals and then for the Marlins. Stanton fouls it back. If you're just happening by, Giancarlo Stanton and the Marlins are up against a pitcher that has befuddled them for a while. Stanton flied to left. He is 1 for 16 against Hellickson, who was dominant against the Fish last year. But Martin Prado and Christian Yelich have line drive hits to open the fourth. Stanton in there with a 1-1 pitch coming. Hellickson got in on Stanton's hands in that second inning at bat. Runners in scoring position. Miami's got a couple on that list. And the Nationals.
Well, those two gentlemen coming up, Marcell Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton in the box right now, and no surprise, you see how hot the Nationals have been. Goodness, that's their number 8 hitter, by the way, Matt Wieters.
That's great producing, right? Down in the truck, just waiting for that right moment with Stanton and Ozuna. Pitch in the dirt, and it kicks away, and Prado is hustling to third. Yelich didn't get a clean read on either the ball or Prado, but probably both. And the count's 2-2.
I'm going to go with Prado. That's a tough read for the trail runner. We've talked about this, and we've seen it on this road trip. The lead runner on a ball like this has the best read. And, of course, he goes when he feels the impulse. Like, he gets the read, he goes. Now, for Christian Yelich, he can't go until he knows for certain that Martin Prado is. And, again, that ball didn't get far enough away to really advance.
Well, that lead runner has no danger of running up the back of anybody,
right,
except the third base coach, Freddie Gonzalez, whereas Yelich didn't want to run him off if he stopped. See what Stanton gets 2-2. Yelich back with a dive. Goes as a wild pitch if you are scoring with us. Two balls, two strikes.
Giancarlo Stanton battling him here, 2-2. He knows the circumstances. Let's get the runner at third base right here. Love to get at least a deep fly ball to the outfield. Preferably like to move Christian Yelich up too if he can, but in this situation here with the history with Hellickson, I think that you're just doing your best to do your job here.
It's a quick throw. Remember, we told you Hellickson did win a Gold Glove early in his career.
It's a short little snap throw that he has there. He doesn't really have that long arm. It's more of a quarter throw or three-quarters throw there from the set position.
Yelich can run. And Stanton swings and misses. So Hellickson has his first strikeout, and it's a big one.
Decides to go to that changeup away. You see it. Look at the depth. Works its way down in the zone. Giancarlo Stanton fooled a little bit by it out in front, but again, it's as much about the movement as it is about the location.
Now Ozuna.
The way the Phillies are playing him on the infield, Marcell Ozuna has been really good at going the other way with runners in scoring position.
It's amazing to watch Hellickson, who is I guess what you would consider a low velocity guy, tying up Ozuna, tying up Stanton, got in on Prado that first at bat.
Changeup has become a popular pitch, a little bit more so, you know, around baseball the last couple of seasons because of this, you know, if you use it effectively. I saw a lot of Kyle Hendricks in Chicago, who has a great changeup and effectively mixes that with 88 miles an hour, and it's the combination that you're looking for, and you see Hellickson doing that as well. When you throw that changeup and it's got, you know, it gains so much respect from the hitters, it only makes your fastball look harder than it is. Even at 89 miles an hour, it feels like 95.
Well, Ozuna got around on that, but it's in the upper reaches and foul. I mean, that literally went out of the ballpark. But for Hellickson, it's a long strike.
Exactly right. Long foul ball. You just end up shaking your head and get back into that fight.
First and third. One out. It's in. Crowd wanted it. Ozuna took it. It's 2-2.
That's a great take right there by Ozuna. This is a pitch that Jeremy Hellickson has not thrown many times to that part of the plate today. So let's go change up on the inside part of the plate.
See if he doubles up on it. In the dirt, and Knapp blocks it. From 91 to 73.
That 73 is probably on his breaking ball, not his changeup. His changeup usually sits in that 80 mile an hour range, 80, 82.
At the corners, one out. Miami down a couple. Ozuna locked in against Hellickson. Hellickson curious to see if Yelich is running here. Would you send him down 2 with a count 3-2 and 1 out?
Would not in this situation here. JT Realmuto's had a good series. He's been a little more consistent hitters. Give him a crack at it if Ozuna isn't able to come up with a big base hit here.
Not running, and Ozuna hits a high pop-up, shallow left center. Out is Galvis, and he calls for it and makes the catch. And so Hellickson has 2 outs.
The top of the zone, the ability to make pitches up. You see it right there, and even hangs it. But again, as a hitter, your sights are set so down in the strike zone because of the way his ball moves. Even his fastball and a slider with that action late and down gets away with the pitch up in the strike zone right there. Ozuna just misses it off the barrel, but fortunately not deep enough to get the runner in.
Now Realmuto, who hit a sinking line drive that upon further review Daniel Nava snatched before it hit the grass, but it was called no catch, and the Phillies had burned their challenge an inning earlier, and so Realmuto's hit stood. Realmuto, a liner to short. Galvis has it. Hellickson escapes, and Miami leads 2. Get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance events by Kaiser University. Learn more at kaiseruniversity.edu. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Nothing pleasurable about today for the Marlins facing Jeremy Hellickson. A frustrating day so far. And for Edinson Volquez, an unsteady 3 innings. He's given up 2 runs. The Phillies have 4 hits. He's walked 3, and he's been behind just about every hitter he has faced.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and state the obvious. He's got to have a shutdown inning right here. I mean, it's 2-0. Marlins better at bats against Hellickson last time up. You hope that kind of continues through the lineup, but the importance here is making sure that you keep the margin at 2. Continue to give your hitters an opportunity to get something going against Hellickson.
Volquez, oh goodness, he's out, and Volquez is lucky he is out, because that was that kind of sums up his day so far.
Well, sometimes making the easy look hard and the hard look easy on Justin Moore's part right there. I don't think there's anything harder to do than to pick a short hop on a soft toss from your pitcher.
So
it's up with a nice play over there at first base.
So you moms and dads who are headed out to watch Little League games tomorrow, wherever you might be, just realize that a major league pitcher sometimes has trouble throwing 30 feet over to first base.
Step and throw, PFP. Pitcher fielding practice.
Even the very best at the highest level have trouble sometimes with the simplest, it seems, of things. Brock Stassi. Volquez has been behind 12 of 16 hitters. Stassi takes outside. Hey, tomorrow, South Florida Honda dealers get you ready for the Fish and the Buccos. Home at last. That's right. Adam Conley gets the ball. Jamison Taillon for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine, who have been polishing their wardrobe ever since we've been on the road. They'll be there to start it out in center field at Marlins Park. Come on by and say hello. 2-1 pitch. And Volquez misses down low. Count 3-1.
See the numbers, not a whole lot going on, although there's been some trouble created by those walks.
With the shift on, that's a long run for Echeverria, and he slides and can't get it. That is as tough a play as you'll get trying to catch a pop-up.
And Echeverria almost made it. Absolutely incredible effort. Probably tell you he should have had it. Oh, he overran it just a little bit right there. Man, goodness
so
gracious.
much going on. It's the long run.
Right.
It's the wall. Sun. All of that. He, I'm sure, would like another shot at that.
Yeah, he successfully made all the right choices on that pursuit except catching the baseball. Great effort. Great effort.
Stassi fouls it back. Stassi had the great spring training and the heartwarming moment where he was told that he was headed to the big leagues. He was the final player added to the 25-man roster. And a swing and a miss. And here's a clip of the emotion he had when he was told he was going to the major leagues.
I mean, dream come true. I'm sorry. You know, my scout Joey Davis drafted me 33rd round. He saw something in me, and you know, just so thankful.
Boy, isn't that something?
Amazing. You don't realize, I know a lot of people do, but when you live it, all that you put into your career, all the time, all the effort, all the work on the backfield. I tell people instructionally up at 5 o'clock in the morning, catching fly balls, taking balls off the wall, that go into that moment right there. And it's just a culmination of a lot of emotion, a lot of effort, a lot of sweat and tears to reach your dream, and he made it.
Here's Knapp. He goes down after a fastball. Echeverria is in pursuit again, but it ends up in the seats. Well, you talk to guys that have been drafted in those later rounds, and 33rd is that's
about as
down
late as
there.
it's going to get.
You have to, if you're going to get to the big leagues, you have to prove it at every level, every day to get promoted. And he certainly did that.
There's a lot of things you can't have, injuries being one of them. A lot of things that you realize that your competition is against the guy standing next to you. You've got to outplay him. You've got to out-hit him. You've got to be available. You've got to be ready. There's a lot of things that go into that journey, especially for the late round guys.
Knapp fouls it back. You know, speaking of that, there's another guy on this team. We talked about Daniel Nava. And I remember that's one of the things Nava said about the Red Sox when he got there. He signed as a free agent out of the independent leagues. He said, they never made me feel like I was not a prospect.
Right.
They treated me the same as all the other guys who were high draft picks. And Nava ended up getting to the big leagues. He's playing with the Phillies here today.
And you'd certainly love to hear and hope that everybody can say the same thing. But the reality is most organizations are in a position where, you know, your first rounders are going to get every benefit of the doubt to get themselves to the big leagues. It's just the way that it works everywhere you go. And to hear a story like that, that's awesome. But it's very difficult even for organizations today to, you know, the investment's greater in one area than it is in the other.
Volk has another walk. And it's the number 8 hitter in front of Hellickson. So a runner at first with 2 outs. Fox Sports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run. Their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Learn more about how you can get involved. Visit foxsportsupports.com. Well, what this means for Volquez in walking the number 8 hitter is more pitches. He's up to 74, and this is the bottom of the 4th inning.
It's been part of the problem in working through some of these control issues right now, is that his pitch count has escalated quite rapidly in just about all of his starts. You think back to even his last start in Seattle, only able to go the 3 innings. Walked 4, and it took him 70 pitches to get through those 3 innings. This has a very similar feel, but all in all, you're going to probably be in the bullpen early today, and this Marlins bullpen has thrown a lot of innings already. In fact, most in baseball. Challenge is keeping the score where it's at and giving your team a chance to win. We've applauded this team an awful lot about doing that. About Tom Kohler's start his last time out. It's funny how, you know, we were kind of talking about it after the game, and you had a feel early in the game, and then you had a different feel after the Marlins exploded for 6 runs in the 6th inning on Sunday, of keeping your team in the ball game, giving your team an opportunity and a shot to get things going. This game has that feel right now.
Saw Volquez react. I think a lot of that is just frustration right now. He's behind Hellickson. This is his 7th 3-ball count. Pitch number 77 is coming up. With the runner on the move, Bohr makes the catch. And Volquez leaves another runner. Phillies lead stays at 2-0.
major sports. Right behind me, the Phillies play at Citizens Bank Park. Over here is Lincoln Financial Field, which is home of the Eagles. And then right over here, the Flyers and the 76ers share the Wells Fargo Center. They're all located within about a mile of each other. And guys, not to worry, if you don't have a ticket to the game, you can catch it at one of the local sports bars.
All right, thank you, Jess. And we told you the NFL draft is here. They originally thought about having it at the Wells Fargo Center, but they had to block those dates out in case the Flyers and the 76ers were in the postseason. So I know there are a few Philadelphians up in the booth chuckling at that, but still, that's why the NFL draft is downtown with the big art center as the backdrop of the draft. Yeah, they love their sports here in Philadelphia. They've got a great college basketball program down the street in Villanova. Big Five basketball, as they call it, with all the rivalries with Temple, LaSalle, St. Joe's. And there you go. That, you know, that's a warm, heartfelt Philadelphia greeting. That one is lined foul into the seats. Out. And it counts 0-1. Justin Bohr. And then Adeiny Echeverria. And you've got Volquez, who is due up third. Hellickson is cruising at 59 pitches now. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Miami's best inning, the fourth. Martin Prado and Christian Yelich line singles to center. But Hellickson struck Stanton out, popped Ozuna up, and then Real Muto hit a soft line drive to end the threat. Blanco to first. And there's one out here in the fifth. Legal portion of the telecast. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Echeverria now. And of course the pen relays are going on at historic Franklin Field, which, if you're in the track and field world, is one of the great events, and a lot of history there.
It almost has a feel, and we've been here for a few days. Obviously, we've got the 2 games here rained out, on Tuesday. It felt like we were all waiting for a good weather day, and we finally got it today. It's been absolutely just gorgeous here in Philadelphia. To get everything kind of going. A lot of busyness this morning. They're filling up across the way. Got the draft going on. Marlins and Phillies.
Echeverria. Ground ball short. Galvis to first. 2 outs. Geico presents this moment in Marlins history. The Fish and the Cardinals. That's a 20-inning game. Marlins got 5 in the bottom of the 9th to force second longest game in Marlins history, 6 hours and 7 minutes. Now, Todd Hollingsworth, you were in that game. What do you remember about it, aside from the 7 hours you spent
that's the obvious
baking in the sun down at the old football stadium?
I'm not sure I finished the game. I think there was a double switch there, so I didn't have to live through the second half of that game, which turned out to be the second game of a doubleheader. My goodness! But,
and didn't you fly to like Arizona after the game?
Yeah, and fly back. You're right. It was an incredibly long game. What I remember about it is that we battled back, played all those innings, and lost anyway. And I guess that's the unfortunate part about it is that we were thrilled with ourselves in that we fought back, and it was a good comeback in the 9th inning. But then you find yourself playing a 10. Somebody has to lose. You play 10 more innings, and you're like, well, wait a minute, we lost anyway. Maybe we should have just handled this in the 9th.
Jeremy Hellickson's been brilliant today. What do you see? Any surprises at all?
No, not really. I mean, again, the numbers have really played themselves out. Only the one hit against his changeup. That would have been the Christian Yelich single here at the top of the 4th inning here. And, Martin Prado got on a fastball. A couple of nice at-bats here or there. I guess what I'm getting at is you can look at the 4th inning and think of it as, boy, that sure feels like what Hellickson has done to the Marlins over the last couple of seasons. Or you can choose to look at it and say the at-bats got so much better the second time through the lineup. There was a couple of base hits. There was a couple of hard outs. Can they stretch that out and build off of it? And that's what you're hoping to see. Because, again, I think when you look at the stats and you look at the numbers, it tells you, well, he does what he does. He gets outs.
Well, not this time. Volquez rolls one into left field for a hit. It's a 2-out single. It gives D. Gordon another at-bat. And your point is a good one. There's the Volquez swing. In that Hellickson is doing this to everybody. He's 3-0. And after these 4 innings, his ERA is close to $1.50.
Well,
and you go back to his last 21 starts from last year, 11-4 with a ERA of about 2.80.
Oh, that's all-star caliber. That's right. Guys, you put up those numbers, you go to the all-star game. That's what you do. It's why you get the ball opening day. That's what Jeremy Hellickson and the people who thought giving him the qualifying offer was a reach for the Philadelphia Phillies. This is a great example of it. The reason they're expecting to play better this year is they've got him in this rotation. He's throwing the ball so well. And I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that he's necessarily the answer for the Phillies, but he could easily be a piece for the future and somebody that may, if the Phillies aren't in it this year, maybe get traded at the trade deadline. But all in all, the 30-year-old has found himself and has really, kicked it into gear as a Philadelphia Philly. After winning the American League Rookie of the Year award, he went through a little, phase through Arizona where he was good but not great. He's pitching great baseball again.
Volquez not much of a lead at first. Gordon smacks one into left field. That's a hit. And you're right, the at-bats have started to get better. This is the 3rd time through for the lineup. And Prado comes up 1 for 2.
I'd like to believe there's some vulnerability with this, and Hellickson is giving up a few more line drives second time through the lineup, which is usually the case, but this Marlins team can capitalize on the at-bats that they had that second time through, might be able to break through and score.
Prado has yet to play a home game. He was activated in Seattle. Of course, started the season on the disabled list.
Been on the road so long, I've completely forgotten that.
Day by day, you can see that he moves better and is running better.
Well, even on the ball in the dirt, he took the extra base over at third base, and I think that was a really good sign.
Volquez the runner at second. Gordon's at first. And Prado takes a strike. And it's a ball and a strike.
I did not even know that. He has not played in Miami yet. That'll be fun tomorrow.
Well, the Marlins haven't been in Miami much. Remember, they opened in Washington and New York. Home for what, a 5-game homestand, and then its longest road trip ever. And Hellickson's old team will be on that homestand coming up. Not the Pirates, that's for 3, but the Rays. Tampa Bay Rays on a Monday and Tuesday, and then the Marlins go to St. Pete for 2 games in the American League. So 4 straight against the Rays. I like the way they do that. 2 in Miami and then 2 over in St. Pete. See what Prado gets. 2-1. It's a strike. Prado froze. You can see his look. Let's see where it ended up.
Yeah, you see it starts out on the inside part, has that good downward motion, but still not a pitch he wants. And Martin Prado is not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He's better off taking that pitch. You won't see him expand his strike zone too often to hit a pitch he's not looking for.
Visit from Knapp. Speaking of scoring, the Mets tied the game against the Braves, getting 2 runs in the 4th, but the Braves have muscled up. Matt Harvey intentionally walked Nick Markakis to get to Kurt Suzuki, who just popped a 3-run homer. And it's 6-2 Braves over the Mets. And that's a midway point, bottom of the 5th in New York. High pop-up. Knapp sees it and makes the catch. And the Marlins once again get 2 hits and have yet to score. You're the analyst. Analyze this.
Watch Angel Hernandez. Oh, did you miss it? I think you did. We may have to rewind and show it to you one more time because you weren't watching Angel Hernandez. Watch the home plate umpire. Yes, sir. Bare hand catch. Are you kidding me? Best catch of the day. Sorry, Christian Yelich. That was good. That's really good.
I like how when the play's done, he's got a mask in each hand.
Yeah, what I liked is that it looked like a no-look catch, by the way. It didn't even look like he was looking at the mask. It was like he did one of these.
It's almost like he and Nat worked it out. Hey, if you get a pop-up,
just throw me the mask.
I'll be on your right side. Just, option.
Right. Well done, Angel.
And it's in Volquez, top of the order. Daniel Nava goes after the first pitch, drills it to left and hits it deep. Ozuna back at the track. Whoa! Oh. Makes the catch. How in the world did he catch it? It wasn't over the shoulder, and it wasn't side saddle. He had the glove turned around.
Try this at home.
Look at this.
I don't even really know how to describe it because it's so unconventional. He had his glove over his head, and he has his thumb up. Unbelievable. I should say thumb down is what it is. That's how he turns it up. Watch this catch. Most people would look to basket catch that right there. He turns his glove over his, just catch the ball. Just catch the ball. There you go.
Volquez is a little puzzled as to how he made it. Well, the bottom line, obviously, is he made the catch. And here's Galvis, who's hit the ball hard twice. He has singled and tripled. Phillies got a single run in the first. A throwing error by D. Gordon added to that rally. And then Galvis tripled in the third and scored on a Herrera ground ball out. And as messy as it seems for Volquez, falling behind the majority of hitters here, it's still only 2-0. Hey, Fort Meade's finest, Andrew McCutchen, is coming as the Pirates and the Marlins go tomorrow night. Especially without Starling Marte, the Pirates need McCutchen to bounce back from a year where he was not his normal all-star self last year.
McCutchen's done a little bit more of be that person and be himself this year, certainly more productive, but they're still struggling offensively, and the loss of Starling Marte is absolutely just a crushing blow to a really good Pirates team.
Let's see how he catches this one. A little more conventional.
We all like that one a little better.
And so there's 2 outs. Odubel Herrera is coming up. In that Mets ball game, Jose Reyes has homered. But one of the big notes coming out of it is that Yoenis Cespedes has left the game, and as reports indicate, it seems as if he's re-aggravated that hamstring injury on a day where, remember, Noah Syndergaard was scratched from his start with what the Mets originally said was a dead arm, or feeling of a dead arm. That one fouled back. Tired arm is how Terry Collins put it in his press conference today. Odubel Herrera, and Volquez has been fidgeting and trying to search and find the rhythm, the relief spot, his mojo, all of those things he has not had.
Yeah, he's battling. This is the definition of it right here. You know, it's making pitches and hitters counts. In a lot of ways, it's really what he's done all season long. It's just found ways to, you know, even get some of those key double plays at the right time. I mean, he just has not really given us the impression all season long that he's in a good groove, that he's confident of where the ball is supposed to be going, and that he feels some element of efficiency. I mean, I'll use effectively wild. Edinson Volquez, that's kind of always been part of his game. I'll let you break this one down.
Well, he's got the guard on, but let's see where it hits, because that guard doesn't always. How in the world did he hit the ball? His back foot was off the ground. Watch this thing.
I know, but he already had it off the ground because and he fouls it off his front foot, though. That's the funny part. I don't mean to laugh. It's never funny to say. Believe me, I broke a leg doing this.
He's one of these guys that is a really unconventional hitter,
right?
But a good one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, he doesn't.
Well, he's got that. You know, he kind of, you know, his front foot. He kind of he pushes on the inside of his front ankle, kind of sets himself up real funny, creates a little vulnerability. That's why you see the shin guard, but it never feels good if you foul one off the shin guard, but. To end up face down in the dirt, that's not easy to do either.
Odubel Herrera, believe it or not, was a star volleyball player in Venezuela. That almost was his sport. He had a 40-inch vertical leap and was a great volleyball star. Phillies actually rescued him from the Rangers minor league system, where he was kind of languishing. Rule 5'd him, stuck him in center. Not only an all-star last year, but signed a nice 5-year, $30 million contract. It's a good story. Herrera keeps both feet on the ground here and fouls it out of play. 1-2. You got two fidgety guys. You got
Everybody's taking
Volquez
time
on the
out
mound.
right
You've got Herrera. They're adjusting everything. Let's see if he gets this throw all right. He did. He's a little more on it this time than bouncing it from 30 feet. Volquez surviving in this one. It's 2-0 Phillies. Told you about, and that is the umpire. The fanatic sets this up. The umpire gets eaten. Now, I think because of the new pace of play initiative, we were unable to see the umpire get regurgitated. They waved Iggy, which is the name of this thing, off the field to restart the inning. So he's got a full stomach.
So you're telling me he vomits the umpire back up?
Yeah, and the umpire
missed that though.
And the umpire didn't have clothes on when he comes out.
Interesting.
Just boxer shorts.
That sounds PG-13 to me.
It is. It's a big hit here in Philly. All right, that was coming off of Volquez's most efficient inning. The Marlins have chipped away at Hellickson. They have 4 hits in the last 2 innings, but haven't been able to chase any of those runners home. Yelich had a hit in the 4th, and he leads it off here. And then you've got Stanton and Ozuna. This is 3rd time through against, right now, one of the better starters in the National League. 3rd in ERA coming in, and an earned run average that's dropping by the inning. One cuts in. 3-1.
Yelich seems to have a really good look at him. Good at bats against Hellickson today, and you see the takes. Very comfortable. Not worried about the changeup. You haven't seen Christian Yelich go outside the strike zone at all. Even got a base hit on that changeup. As I told you at the beginning, there's only been 2 hits against his changeup coming into today.
That to me is amazing. What was it? 063 coming in?
I think let's see what do we have coming in here. Right, it was like he's thrown the pitch 99 times. Right, so I think it was a 2 for 31. Right, it's an 063 batting average against that pitch, and that's the pitch that we told you about, that changeup. Christian Yelich, what did he do with it? He lined it into center field.
Stassi to the bag, and Yelich is out number 1. On Saturday night, it's Marlins and Pirates. First 7,000 fans will get a Marlins tumbler courtesy of Aquafina. All-you-can-eat seats are there as well. And enjoy unlimited Nathan's hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts, nachos, and Pepsi soft drinks, and Aquafina water. That's a Saturday night battle against the Pirates. Go to marlins.com. It's also a very popular night, University of Miami nights at the ballpark. Stanton fouls it back.
My kids are learning to do that. We've traded in all of our UM stuff for UM stuff. University of Michigan for University of Miami. We're learning.
Have they learned how to do the all about the you thing?
Well, I think my oldest has picked up on that. Ty. I'm not sure if Tug has picked up on it, although it wouldn't surprise me if he knows it already. But yeah, we're we've traded in our conferences. We're good.
You lived north of Chicago when you were doing the Cubs work, but that drew you a little closer to the big house, right?
Well, Northwestern, certainly the Big Ten. You know, you have
Stanton, a laser to left, and that should be extra bases. Nava off the wall, Stanton around first, and Giancarlo finally solves Hellickson. 1 for 17 before that swing.
Let's take a look at it one more time. Good timing on his toe tap. Something out where he get those arms extended and rips it into left field. Easy stand-up double from Giancarlo. See it right there, just stays through it. He looked like he gave himself a little more space up there in the box. That might have been an in-game adjustment right there. Giancarlo Stanton might have been a little more off the plate than he was his first 2 at-bats.
Here's Ozuna, has flied to left and has popped into shallow left. So 0 for 2. This is a game where Miami is hung in, and Volquez not his best stuff, but he's limited the Phillies to the 2 runs. The Marlins, first 2 times through the order, a struggle against Hellickson, but the hits have started to come, but no runs yet.
Well, maybe they find a long ball. Marlins have hit 26 home runs in 19 games this year, so actually one of the better home run hitting teams. That might be a surprise, considering from what they were last year. Marcell Ozuna has definitely found the power stroke, as Giancarlo Stanton has. A few of the other Marlins. Maybe that's what they're waiting on. That would be a pretty good time. Or maybe this pitch.
You're really limiting yourself.
I'm boxing myself into a corner.
Yes, you have. Ozuna pulls it to third. Nice pick by Franco, and he makes the play. Stanton still at second.
You see the big hop, then becomes the short hop. That's the read. The first step read was he was going to get the big hop, and then found himself a little bit in no man's land. Has to go to the backhand short hop. Franco comes up with it. Strong throw across the diamond.
Real Muto, a single in the second, soft line drive out in the fourth. Miami 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Stanton waiting out there. Fish have stranded 2 in each of the last 2 innings.
JT, a couple of nice at bats today. See how Hellickson goes at him. Lined out to short. Picked up a base hit his first time. Line drive to left.
Hellickson does slow down a bit when there's traffic on the bases. You saw in that last shot, they keep the ERA and the pitch count out on the scoreboard on the right field wall. The ERA is dipped down to 1.52, and this is start number 5 for Hellickson. Ball and a strike. There it is. ERA leaders in the National League. It'll put Hellickson right now 4th behind Gio Gonzalez and right in front of Noah Syndergaard. Liner to left. It's going to drop for a hit, and they're going to send him home. Up with the ball is Nava. Throw to the plate. Stanton is in there standing, and Real Muto arrives at second. And Miami finally breaks through against Hellickson, and it's JT Real Muto, his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Great read by Freddie Gonzalez, third base coach for the Marlins. Good aggressive read. Nice swing of the bat. You see that changeup right there. Boy, it has a lot of depth to it, but JT, one of the best hitters in the league right now. I drive left field. You see it right here. Watch this. Freddie's got him going all the way. Nava just takes a little bit too long, but by throwing through the cut right there, here's the great part. JT Real Muto gets to move up a base. Now the tying run is in scoring position, so everything went well for the Marlins right there.
Good job by Justin Bour pointing Stanton towards the inside part of the plate. And importantly, Real Muto takes second, and here's Bour. Just like that, the Marlins with a base hit here could tie the game.
See Garcia in the bullpen right there. Justin Bour taking the at-bat right now against Hellickson as Garcia starts to loosen up. Now he's lived inside part of the plate. Justin Bour, 2 ground balls to the right side, and Hellickson has really tried to work in under his hands. See if he changes anything up.
Ball and a strike. So the Phillies' pen is active. Miami's bullpen up as well. David Phelps. He's got company, Bour does, with the rest of the Marlins, but significant that Stanton, who was 1 for 17, doubled with 1 out. Bour sharply hit right on the button, but Blanco is there and he gets the out. Miami finally breaks through and gets a run. 2-1 Phillies. Fun day in the sun here in Philly. 80 degrees. Who would have thought that when we arrived here, to all the rain and the cold? Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollinsworth. This has been a game of perseverance. Edinson Volquez did not have it from the start. He's hung in there. The Marlins struggled against Jeremy Hellickson. They hung in and picked up their first run.
Well, it's a one-run ball game right now. It's exactly what you're looking for. I mean, this story has been one that you feel like the Phillies should be up by 4 or 5 runs in this ball game, but they're not. The Marlins find themselves down 1 run. Opportunity to find a way to win a game here in the later innings.
Michael Franco fouls it back. Phillies here, bottom 6, and yes, Volquez still in there. He is hung around. Franco, Saunders, Blanco. .93 pitches now for Volquez. Four walks, 2 strikeouts. An odd pop-up that ends up in Gordon's glove. And so an out here in the 6th. Let's do that inside look thing that's brought to you by Toyota and the RAV4. Toyota, let's go places. After 19 games, you compare the Phillies to where they were last year to where they are this year. A better offensive team. ERA is right around the same. This was last year. It's amazing for this ballpark and this franchise. The Phillies scored the fewest runs in Major League Baseball. And their batting average and on-base percentage at home in this ballpark was their worst ever.
Well, and I was looking at some of those numbers at the beginning of the season in spring training, trying to make sense of why the National League East. It wasn't just the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, the offense was down all throughout the National League East, to be honest. What does that take you to? Is it the hitters or is it the pitchers?
Gordon bare hands, but no chance to get Saunders, who runs pretty well. It's going to be an infield hit.
Was the National League East lacking? See D. Gordon right there trying to go to the backhand. Unable to grab and throw. That's what he was shooting for right there. It's a byproduct of the overshift. Sometimes you're going to pick up a knock like that. Finds a hole. But Rich, you're probably, you saw so much of this Marlins team and obviously so much of the National League East last year, probably more suited to answer the question. The numbers tell you that the pitching was obviously really, really good against, the divisional foes. And I don't know, I mean, it's not just a Phillies thing, it's a Mets thing, it's a Nats thing, it's a Marlins thing as well.
Well, obviously the Marlins had Jose Fernandez at the top of their rotation. Max Scherzer, Tanner Roark combination in DC, and seemingly any starter the Mets rolled out there last year. Very, very good. Nationals won the division. Mets were one of the wild card teams. And going into this year, everybody felt that the Phillies would be another year older and another year better from a team that was improved last year. That the Braves, with all the veterans that they've added and the youth that they've acquired in trades, would be better. And of course, the Marlins return that everyday lineup, which is very, very good. I think for the Fish, they're 10-9, trying to win this game and go back 2 over and get home 500 on this trip. There's been improvement with the Marlins. They're scoring more runs per game than they did last year. That was a concern of Don Mattingly's.
I think at this point of the season, you would look at their record, win or lose today. And obviously, you want to win today, and I think that would really make this journey feel a lot better. But you get home, it's I think the games really, kind of moving into, as we move into May when the Marlins start to gain a little more favorable schedule at home schedule, taking advantage of that, because that's what it's been so far. Like, you look at 500 right now with this Marlins team and think to yourself, okay, well, they played the majority of their schedule on the road. So we understand that argument of, okay, they've been on the road, it doesn't matter who they're playing, they're road weary, it's been an incredibly long trip, this is their second road trip, they're a 500 ball club. That brings up and certainly kicks into gear, you've got to take care of business at home now. I mean, I guess that's what it comes down to if you're looking to make that improvement.
Blanco takes in. We saw David Phelps get up earlier, and he is still up. Looks like he's ready at any moment's notice, but Harlan Garcia, the lefty's up too. Three-two, clubbed to right. Stanton back, makes the catch, fires to first, and back in is Saunders. 2 outs every weekday morning. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon weekdays from 9:30 to noon Eastern, only on FS1. Stasi. Now, the Phillies have started a lot of their bench guys, which means at this point of the game, Pete Buchanan's got a really nice bench to choose from. Right-handed bats like Aaron Altair, Tommy Joseph, Cameron Rupp. You got the switch hitting Hernandez, and remember, Ty Kelly is on this team now. He's a switch hitter. Former Met, and for a week, a Blue Jay. Stasi a liner, and that's trouble. Into the corner it goes. Racing for third is Saunders. Stanton has it cleanly. Saunders coming home. Relay from Gordon. He is safe. Safe at the plate. Real Muto had the glove down. The Marlins do have a challenge. Saunders came to the corner of the plate, and we'll get our first look at it.
Throw beats him.
Ooh, that's close.
Angel Hernandez says he gets his hand underneath the tag right there. Right underneath that before JT is able to apply the tag. More towards the Phillies lettering on the top of the jersey right there.
Super slow-mo. Marlins are not going to challenge. He's right.
Yeah, he's safe. He got his hand in there.
Great call by Angel Hernandez.
Great slide by Michael Saunders.
And so by the narrowest of margins, the Phillies take a 3-1 lead, and Brock Stasi has his first career triple. Marlins did a lot of things right there. Stanton got it quickly. Gordon's throw was pretty good. And Volquez exits after 105 pitches. 3-1 Phillies. to the lefty, Harlan Garcia.
Garcia pitching back-to-back for the first time as a Marlin. See him back out there, pitched last night's ball game. 94, 95 mile an hour fastball to go along with a good breaking ball. See the numbers on the season. 2.45 ERA. Picked up some strikeouts as well.
So on third base is Brock Stassi, whose RBI triple has stretched the lead to 3-1. This is the switch hitting catcher Andrew Knapp, who has just one at bat from this side of the plate this year. Pitcher spot on deck, and Ty Kelly is in the on deck circle. Left center, Yelich calling, and Yelich catching. So Garcia gets the last out, but the Phillies get another run. And it's 3-1, headed to the 7th.
Extended their lead 3-1. Now, baseball is a very popular sport around the globe, and that popularity is continuing to grow. Take a look at some of the numbers as far as baseball's international appeal. Now, on the 2017 opening day rosters, there were 259 players that were born outside of the 50 states. That's a new record for Major League Baseball. And guys, as far as the Marlins go, 10 players born outside the United States on our opening day roster. They represent 5 different countries. And one thing we love about Twitter and Email Tuesday, we always see tweets from around the world of people watching the fish. Very cool.
Yeah, you got a taste of that last night. Phillies have made a move. Cesar Hernandez comes in at second base, and he's going to jump into the 9th spot in the order. Edubre Ramos takes over for the Phils, and Ramos has the bottom of Miami's order. Echeverria, Derek Dietrich's on deck, and then D. Gordon. And Echeverria fouls a pitch off.
You see a little bit of that bloated ERA from Ramos, 5.40 ERA, but does have a live arm, 95, 97 mile an hour fastball. Good slider to go along with it. 13 strikeouts in 8 1/3 innings in the season so far.
Whoa! That one is off of Ramos, and Echeverria's got himself a hit. Boy, does he swing it well in this ballpark. His first hit of the day. And the Phillies training staff is out to look at Ramos and see if he's all right.
That ball was hit so hard, really does nothing to get out of the way or defend himself. Kind of looks like it glances off his right arm right there. Yeah, back right elbow. Watch the right elbow. Yeah.
Boy, the Phillies almost had a mid-infield collision there with Galvis and Hernandez.
He's going to try to still go.
Well, Ramos is he's taking an awful lot of pitches here. And usually it's one throw and I'm okay. He took a pretty good amount, which means that maybe the first few that he threw, he didn't feel that great.
Yeah, I don't really know the rule on that. I would assume that it's
how many you need, right?
Well, you know, the home plate umpire probably has some discretion in there as well, you know, trying to read the situation. But you're right, there certainly did seem like he had a few more pitches than traditional. Find out if he was going to be able to stay in this ball game.
So Don Mattingly will bring in Derek Dietrich to pinch hit. You know, Pete Buchanan got back to the dugout, and I think he's thinking what I'm thinking. If it took him 4 pitches to figure out if he was okay, that's a red flag to me.
And the other red flag is, as Pete Buchanan was making his way back to the dugout and everything was resetting, Ramos was on the mound staring at his arm. That's the other thing. He was still looking down. I know that the velocity looked like it was right, but
of course the Phillies may have been buying some time for the lefty to get ready for Dietrich too.
Well, he has all the time in the world to get ready because it's an injury timeout.
Right.
So he could come into the ball game. I don't know if that's necessarily the angle. I just really think Ramos was trying to talk his way into staying out there, but then kind of played his hand when he started looking at his arm again.
Well, I think once Buchanan left and then went back, it went from an injury to, hey, I'm just going to make a pitching change now.
Well,
we'll take a
two-run lead for the Phillies.
We'll take a break as well. Phillies make a change here. Marlins down 2. Phillies on top. On select Friday home games this season, the first 7,000 fans will receive a free specialty Marlins t-shirt. A different themed shirt will be given out at each game. To get tickets and learn more, go to marlins.com. Dietrich is hit by the first pitch. He's good at that. And he trots down to first. Although that one wasn't necessarily one he leaned or didn't try to move out of the way. This was right at him.
Well, this is a high fastball. Rodriguez just trying to throw strikes right there. Runs up and in and catches Dietrich on the elbow guard. That's why it's there.
And here's D. Gordon. So the Marlins have first and second. Down 2, nobody out in the 7th. And this looks like Bob McClure, the pitching coach for the Phillies. Remember, they just changed from Edubre Ramos to Joely Rodriguez. McClure, the former lefty big leaguer. Pat Neshek is in the Phillies pen. These two teams have two of the more unique right-handed relievers in the game.
And Neshek.
Ziegler and Neshek.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Gordon. You got Prado and Yelich to follow. Let's see what Gordon is doing here. Phillies infield suspects maybe bunt or maybe just respects Gordon.
Well, they have to respect him on the corners.
He squares, sets it down, and it's foul.
A lefty and lefty matchup. You're probably going to see D. Gordon try that one more time.
You know, in talking to Freddie Gonzalez about a bunting, and with guys like Gordon, there are guys that are really good bunters for hits that aren't great sacrifice bunters, and sometimes the theory is just let them bunt it the way they would if they were looking for a hit.
Right. Well, you find that those like Juan Pierre, who are really good at dropping down the base hit bunts, they want to move their feet and they kind of walk into their bunt a little bit. It's not a set bunt. You'll watch their feet move quite a bit, and there's a gracefulness to what they do and how they use their hands and how they can maneuver the bat to put the ball where they want, even as the ball is on its way. When you're doing a sacrifice bunt, it's more of a feet are in concrete. Get it turned around, get it squared around, and get the ball down. See right there. It's a good example of it.
And he went searching for it and missed. And it's 1-2.
Now, I, who was not a base hit bunter, I was a sacrifice bunter when asked to do it, would have been in that position, would have squared early, would have shown the bat early, and would be trying to bunt early, especially against a tough left-hander.
That one right over the head of Martin Prado.
I've always wondered that. If you're watching Martin Prado duck right there, why in youth baseball and younger baseball the rule is that on-deck hitter would be on the backside of D. Gordon. He would actually be on the other side of the field because he would be behind him. Ball isn't going to hit him in that position, where here he's clearly in line to have to defend himself if D swings late.
Little tapper towards short. Phillies try to turn 2. Not with Gordon. They don't. And Miami ends up with runners at the corners now for a Prado at bat and 1 out.
Still a productive at bat. D. Gordon getting the runner to third base. He's got speed, obviously his speed over at first base. Opportunity to steal a base.
And so Rodriguez is on his way out. It looks like Pat Neshek coming in to face Martin Prado. AFN, the American Forces Network. 75th year of broadcasting to American military overseas. More than 170 countries, naval ships at sea as well. Welcome to Philadelphia today. If you're with us, we're in the National League East. And the Miami Marlins and the Phillies on a gorgeous day in downtown Philadelphia. Pat Neshek, one of the more unique relievers in all of baseball, has a lot of funk in the delivery, is on for the Phillies. He's the third reliever to work this inning, as Miami's trying to climb back down a couple. Martin Prado has homered against him in 3 at-bats. And Neshek pours in a strike.
Kind of jumps at you, knees, elbows, and arms. More about deception or funk, as you choose to use. I love it. Got a different meaning for me, but I still find it funny. Neshek, a lot of success already this season.
A strike. Now Neshek is a lot like Brad Ziegler, not only in delivery but in success. Both have ERAs, career ERAs under 3. Neshek comes in at 2.93. Houston's bullpen his last 2 years. He was an all-star for the Cardinals in 2014. Gordon is running and Prado fouls it back. It does take a while to uncoil. Prado bounces into a lot of double plays. So that's not a bad move to have Gordon on the move.
No, and you can also, you know, fairly well predict that Martin Prado is going to find contact here. I mean, that's part of it. Neshek gets a lot of ground balls as well.
See if he's running again. At right side is open. Prado's really good at shooting the ball that way. Runner goes, and Prado took a shot at it. Fouls it off. D's just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I think he is. He should be going right here too.
You wonder if the Phillies would pitch out.
It's a possibility, but I do wonder with Neshek's command and where he pitches from if that's something they're shooting for.
Not running, and it was a high fastball on the outside part.
And I think you hit the nail on the head right there. That's his interpretation of a pitch out right there. And I really do mean that. Like, you know, to actually have your catcher kind of jump out and go high, I think would be somewhat difficult for Neshek to accomplish.
So that's the best he's got.
I think as far as a pitch out is what you just witnessed.
See if D's running. Neshek out of Butler University. Not running. Prado fights off another. For the last 4 innings, the Marlins have had multiple base runners in all 4. And yet right now just the 1 run. It came on the Real Muto 2-out single.
The Marlins at bats after that first time through have really improved today. 2 hits in the 4th, 2 hits in the 5th, 2 hits in the 6th, hit here in the 7th. Just kind of looking for that real big one. I said a little bit earlier, home runs have been a big part of the Marlins offense this year.
He's running, and Prado hits it in the air in a shallow left. Echeverria is tagging. Nava makes the catch. Etch bluffs. The throw is cut. And Neshek has the 2nd out of the inning. And this could prove to be an entertaining at bat. Neshek against Yelich.
no history between the two. Christian Yelich has never faced Pat Neshek in his career. You know that Yelly does as good a job as about any left-hander in the game at staying inside of a baseball. The way Neshek kind of comes at you, elbows, arms.
Slings in a fastball. Yelich up the middle into center field, a base hit. Echeverria scores. Gordon stops at second. And Christian Yelich, with 2 hits, drives in a run. It's a 1-run game. And now it's Neshek against Stanton.
Well, nice piece of hitting here. We talked about it. Who stays inside the baseball better than Christian Yelich right there? Shoots one back through the middle. Didn't get around it. That's actually how they were playing him, thinking he was going to pull that baseball, and stayed right through it and drove it back through the middle. RBI base hit.
So you got great speed out there with Gordon at second, Yelich at first, 3 infielders on the third base side. Neshek bends one in there to get a strike. And then he sneaks a fastball by him. Stanton is seeing this, the slider, and now the fastball.
See the great numbers from Stanton over the last 6 ball games.
And 2 again. Got him. Neshek strikes out Stanton. Miami gets 1 back and trails at 3-2. A lot of wheels turning in the last half hour, which probably was the amount of time it took to play the last inning and a half. David Phelps is in, and for Phelps, his job is to hold it at 3-2 and give Miami a couple of shots in the 8th and in the 9th. Phelps last time out much better than in previous spots. It wasn't a high leverage outing in terms of the situation, but obviously David frustrated himself. He's talked about it. Would like to improve on the start that he's had so far this season.
Well, in all honesty, it's just some pitches that leaked out over the plate. It's not a lack of velocity. Certainly, it's not like he's walking or afraid of contact. He is not. Just needs to make some better strikes, and that's really what it comes down to. In his last time out, he was on it. Better strikes, better results.
Cesar Hernandez, his first at bat of the ball game. He came in a double switch of sorts. Daniel Nava, Freddie Galvis for the Phils. Remember, the Phillies have won 5 straight.
Hernandez a big reason why. Now you see that right there, 0 for 6 with the strikeout against David Phelps. He is leading this Phillies team in just about every offensive category, and then some. Scored 18 runs for the Phillies. He's been a spark plug atop their lineup.
And Phelps right now with a count 3-0. Hernandez had a very good homestand as well. He's 7 for 17 in 4 games. And for Phelps, a leadoff walk opens the 7th inning here. Now you got Nava up. We'll see how Pete Buchanan feels about this situation.
Cesar Hernandez over there at first base is one of their best stolen base threats. Already has 3 stolen bases on the season.
He's been caught once.
Daniel Nava put together a pretty nice start to his season as well. We'll see if he's bunting here. My guess is you'll see Nava hit. Maybe you'll see Hernandez run.
And a strike. Nava 0 for 2 with a walk.
Over first by Phelps. Hernandez back. Nothing tipping his hand with Hernandez. Not looking for that extra step or trying to get a really strong lead over there.
Did you ever face the Chico Bandits?
Not. I don't think I did. Probably tell me I'm wrong. Did I? I don't know.
That was the independent team that Nava played for.
Possible.
Chico, California. North of.
We had a couple independent teams in the Cal League when I was playing. They were Lodi. Lodi was one of them.
Nava was the MVP of that league, and obviously caught the eye of the Red Sox.
Understandably. Good hitter.
I'll bet Lodi was hot.
Was.
Counts 2-1.
I was always intrigued by Lodi because I didn't have an understanding at the ripe old age of 18 of what an independent team actually was. I just didn't get it until I played them enough to really understand it.
Almost hit him, and it's 3-1.
Some of those independent teams, you'd have players on loan from other organizations, and I didn't get it. Oh, talk to guys across the diamond, they'll be like, oh no, I'm affiliated with the Angels, or I'm affiliated with the Twins. They wanted them to play at a higher level, or they didn't have a team in that league, or they didn't have a space on their other A-ball team. You'd find guys that would be playing on some independent teams.
Cesar Hernandez at first. Nava at the plate. 3-1 coming.
Fastball by Phelps right there. Navas had some good passes, and as I said, a good start to his season. Phelps had to go with the challenge fastball right there on the 3-1 pitch. Able to get it by him.
Count full now, and we'll see the likelihood grows that Hernandez is running here.
Each pitch, that is absolutely the case. I would anticipate he's actually leaning right now. Hopes he picks up on that.
Fanatic doing all he can. He's on the move as well. Count full. And nobody out. He's running. And a bouncer towards second. Gordon on to first. Phillies move the runner. And now Phelps has to face Freddie Galvis, and you've got Odubel Herrera. Brad Ziegler is ready in Miami's bullpen. By the way, as you look at Ziegler, if you're interested in finding out what fun an independent baseball team could be, I would recommend the documentary The Battered Bastards of Baseball. It's a documentary about the old Portland Mavericks, owned by Bing Russell, father of Kurt Russell, a movie star. Kurt Russell played on that team.
How about it?
It's a very well done film.
Check that out.
Well, here's Galvis, and all he's done today is triple and single. He's 2 for 3.
You've seen the 9-game hitting streak. Be a byproduct of digging out of that proverbial hole that hitters get in at the start of a season. Starting to see his batting average climb back up there.
Of course, he had 2 hits and a home run yesterday. I think, you know, the line on the Phillies, they're going to be better offensively. It just feels that way. With another year of experience, they've added Saunders. If they're starting pitching, they're young starting pitching. Throws well. They've got a chance to get around that 500 mark, cause some problems. Pickoff attempt. Jared Eichhoff is a good young starter. Zach Eflin. Aaron Nola.
And I think that's the message that you know, Phillies fans are being delivered. I think the expectations are for improvement this year. That if this team can make an August or September relevant, so this is the front office that will go out and do their part to try to help if there's a piece that's missing.
Galvis smokes a ground ball. Gordon gets it. 90 feet ahead is Hernandez. But Phelps has got 2 outs now, and he gets the enigmatic Odubel Herrera. Herrera knows that Ziegler is ready, and he kind of looked into Miami's dugout to see if Don Mattingly was going to make a move.
I just think he likes to take his time.
He does. He's one of the more deliberate hitters
he is
in the league. pop-up. Out goes Echeverria. In comes Yelich, and it's Yelich who makes the catch. And a leadoff walk is avoided by David Phelps. Game, the Phillies on top of the fish. David Phelps, a shaky start, walked the leadoff man, but importantly, he gets out of it.
Yeah, let's give you at home a peek at this relationship you hear me talking about all the time between the catcher and the pitcher. Look at JT Realmuto kind of sneaking in under his hands. He didn't give that sign. We were talking about Herrera, how long and deliberate he is getting in the box. Waits for him to get in there, sees that he looks out at Phelps, then he gives the sign, then he slides in under his hands, and Phelps, he makes the pitch. Watch this, see? Right under there. See how quiet that looked? Well, trust me, it is. Hitters here, they know where catchers are, and if you got a heavy catcher back there with heavy feet, he'll tell you where he's setting up every time. JT Realmuto is not that. He's quiet, very, very stealth back there. See him slide into those hands, make that pitch right there, and get that weak pop out to get out of the inning.
Aaron Altair is in left field. Joaquin Benoit is on the mound after Pat Neshek got the last 2 outs of the 7th. This is reliever number 4 already for the Phils. And a strike.
First pitch slider right there. 87 miles an hour. He throws it very hard. Mix that in with a fastball. 94-95. Marlins hitters got a good look at Benoit last night.
Ozuna, then Realmuto, and then Bohr. Ozuna did not face Benoit, who saw Prado, Yelich, and Stanton. Benoit kept that pitch up and in, and he strikes out Ozuna.
Well, you see the animation a little bit right there from Benoit. You say, what's he angry about? He's still replaying that second pitch to Ozuna, which was a hanging slider out over the plate. He knows he did. Thought that Ozuna should have done something with it, able to put him away with a high fastball.
Been a tough road trip for Ozuna. He's 0 for 4 here. Realmuto 2 for 3.
I would have caught that.
You think so, huh?
You know, I've been on red alert since we started this season.
That was one of the first things you asked coming into the booth, is that when are we going to get a foul ball?
That's right.
And the thing I like is that you didn't have a beer in your hand or a big tub of popcorn.
Right, to throw on you. I am ready.
Or a new plate of nachos.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. You have a very nice shirt on today.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're dressing quite well for the end of the trip. I don't know how that is.
Yeah, well, I discovered something at the bottom of my bag. Long trip. Longest in Marlins history. 7,100 miles. We've seen a lot of things. We've landed in Seattle, saw the Mariners getting hot. Saw that dramatic home run by Ichiro. One that seemed to disappear into the marine layer. The home run by Stanton. Then to San Diego. Marlins took 2 of 3 against the Padres. And then here in Philly, we saw a lot of rain the first 2 days. Monday, the off day. Tuesday, the game was postponed. Phillies winners last night, and a tight one here. Realmuto pops it first base side. Long run, Stassi. And it's out of play. By the way, if you have that magnetic schedule on your fridge, or if you keep track of the Marlins on their schedule, that rain out will probably be made up in August, and in all likelihood it will be a doubleheader, because the Marlins, even though they have some off days here in Washington, neither team can play on that day, because in one case it would force a team to play 37 consecutive days. So
right.
It would be Philly in that case. So it's going to be a doubleheader, probably late August. In fact, the Marlins are here for 3, a midweek night game, day game, the 22nd through the 24th.
Good battle between Benoit and Realmuto. JT, another multi-hit effort, 8th of the season.
And he got him. Change speeds.
Good changeup by Benoit. Doesn't throw that changeup often. When he does, it can be effective. Watch how it's down in the zone. Almost acts like a split finger. See it right there, the tumbling action. Hadn't shown it to JT at any point during the sequence. It's a good pitch right there.
And Bohr, foul tip into the glove of Andrew Knapp.
For 3 on the afternoon. Doing everything in his power not to ground out to second base. He's done that 3 times today.
The last one was the best contact of the day for Bohr. Let's see if he gets that changeup. Fastball up, and it's 2-1. Oh, he had a good one to hit. Fastball.
He knows it right there. A little, what's the reaction to Justin Bohr right here. He knows it. Had a pitch out over the plate. Yep, see that head drop right there. He's a little frustrated with himself. Now he's going to battle. 2 strikes.
.96-mile-an-hour fastball from Benoit. Bohr reaches out, line drive, center field. Herrera in and makes the catch. And a 1-2-3-8 for the Fish. Crowd of over 22,000 here on this day game. Night game tomorrow. Jamison Taillon for the Pirates, Adam Conley for the Fish. And it's a 3-game series. A big weekend. A lot of stuff going on this weekend at the Marlins Park. University of Miami Day is on Saturday night. Puerto Rican Heritage Night is tomorrow. Got a Sunday game. Sunday's the big day that Ichiro is honored for his 3,000 hits before the ball game. So a good weekend to be at the ballpark.
Absolutely.
Here's Brad Ziegler now. Ziegler takes over for David Phelps. Phelps handled the 7th. Harlan Garcia got a hitter out in relief of Edinson Volquez. This one's going to land foul and out of reach. Miguel Franco, Michael Saunders, Andres Blanco. This was way back when, and Edinson Volquez, Jeremy Hellickson start. And of course, Hellickson, a history of frustrating the Marlins, and he did that again in this one. Marlins, though, got a run in the 6th, and against the Phillies pen added another in the 7th. That one rolled foul.
Uh-oh. Little tumbler.
Well, he's still got the beer.
Well, I think he's blaming the beer is what I think he's doing. Ouch.
And he's smiling.
Took down some of the padding over there, it looks like, on the wall. Raised his beer to say, it's not me, it's the beverage.
Cricket, something to smile about moment. That's over Prado's head. Ozuna cuts it off. Franco around first, and nice job by Ozuna to get to the ball and make a strong throw. It holds Franco to a single. Now Saunders. The Braves, remember, they were taking on the Mets, and they held on for a 7-5 win. R.A. Dickey bites his old team. Matt Harvey got the loss. He was moved up with Syndergaard getting scratched with what the Mets are calling a tired arm. Yoenis Cespedes left that ball game. Apparently aggravating his hamstring injury. Kurt Suzuki hit a 3-run homer. I think he's like the third catcher for the Braves.
They've brought in some veterans, some key veterans, to make a go of it this year. At least play to respectability with the new ballpark opening up.
Ziegler gets a strike, and it's 2-1. Saunders line to center. He hit a ball to center. Yelich made a catch, and it didn't really crash into the wall, but he hit the wall. Not as violent as the Seattle catch. Saunders, of course, homered yesterday as well.
Brad Ziegler's got him set up for the changeup away here. One of his favorite pitches to left-handed hitters to put them away. See it fade off the outside corner. There it is. Saunders not biting.
Aaron Altair is on deck. Gordon, not well hit, and thus no double play. So an out, and a reminder, MLB.TV is back. It's better than ever, and it's mandatory if you are a Major League Baseball fan. You get every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices, and you get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, #1 app for live baseball. You've got blackout and other restrictions, but MLB.TV, highly recommended.
Well, we've got a little delay here. I think
Angel Hernandez is pointing at something. I think where the fan fell over the railing. They're repairing that area right now.
no, I'm not sure that's it. I think this is about a play. We're going to a review here.
Really?
Yes, we are. This might
Slide?
be slide at second base is where I think this is headed.
Marlins are thinking slide. There was a group out there repairing that pad when the between outs, but obviously the umpires they've got the headphones on right now. He's safe. No violation of the slide rule. That was quick. Whoa.
Wow.
How is that not a violation? Now, you know, here may be the ruling. Remember the other day, there was a ruling that said that the slide was not affecting the throw to first.
That's the only thing it could be.
If it doesn't affect the throw, and they feel that it wouldn't have helped or prevented a double play,
right,
then I guess it's
and
not a violation.
I agree with all of those. But what is he doing way out there?
The terminology on the play was it was not a bona fide.
Well, I understand, but
slide.
It's no argument. It's still just the integrity of the play. What's Franco doing right there in that sense? He has no business sliding that far off the bag or towards D, who is already getting rid of the baseball. Regardless. So
part of the rule is to prevent injuries, and obviously The other is to enforce the double play if they feel the slide.
Yeah, there's no way that that was, slowed anything down or stopped the play from happening. It's just that Franco was way out of the baseline.
I will say this: it was an early slide by Franco. It wasn't a late slide. I mean, the double jeopardy is being out of the baseline and sliding late.
Well, and for me, sometimes you'll see a base runner get down to get out of the way, and then you'll see a base runner slide. Let's see what we see right here.
Let's see how this one works. He was down early, that's for sure. And D whips it across and gets the double play on Aaron Altair. To the ninth. Miami down a run in Philly. Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance events. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. In Philly, Miami down to the last 3 outs and down a run. The Fish have the bottom of their order up. And they split finger fastball of Hector Neris certainly will be on display here.
Echeverria is going to lead this one off, and we got to look at Neris last night. Got things started with a base hit. See if he can't do that again tonight. See the numbers on Neris. 3.50 ERA, on to pick up what he believes to be his first save of the year. Marlins thinking differently.
Jeremy Hellickson gave him 6. And now the Phillies have run through 5 relievers. 0-1 to Echeverria. Ichiro is on deck. And then top of the order, D. Gordon. And Neris misses out. Echeverria, who had 3 hits last night, and this is his career playground. An average well into the high 300s in this ballpark. Ground ball up the middle to first.
There was the split finger from Neris. That is his out pitch. 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, but a very good split finger. It's Ichiro.
All right, as we expected, New York's ruling on that slide. They ruled that there was no impediment or hindering of the play, and that's why there's no violation of the slide rule. So here is Ichiro, and Ichiro fouls it out of play.
But interestingly enough, if there was an errant throw, it would have been, right? Is that how we should interpret that?
Yeah, you know what? You probably could, because he wasn't going to get the runner at first. He made a clean turn, but if he throws it in the seats.
Well, that's my point.
So maybe he's better off throwing it in the seats. Is that what you said?
I'm not trying to lead the conversation in that direction or think that anybody on a baseball field is smart enough or fast enough to think along with it. But when you've got Franco laying down nowhere near second base and sliding into you, as a middle infielder, that's exactly what you're trying to protect against. I don't really agree with that rule. I don't like it.
I think our homework for tomorrow is to pay a visit to the umpire's room at Marlins Park and
Let's do it.
Chat them up. Ichiro, little check swing and a lazy pop into left. Galvis gives way. Alter makes the catch. And so it's up to D. Gordon to keep this game going for the Fish.
He's really leaning on that split finger fastball against Ichiro. Showed it to him multiple times.
And Gordon pops it up. And Hector Neris makes quick work. 7-pitch save. And the Phillies get a 2-game sweep over the Marlins here in Philadelphia. Too much Jeremy Hellickson. The Marlins had opportunities against Hellickson, and his last few innings did not take advantage of it, and it bites him here in a 3-2 loss.
Well, another close ball game. That big hit the Marlins hitters were trying to come up with today just wasn't there. Kept themselves in this and gave themselves an opportunity, but really when you think about the opportunities offensively, there were a few more than the 2 runs they scored.
Hellickson is now 4-0. But don't go anywhere. We're staying here in Philly. Jessica Blaylock, Preston Wilson down on the fields. Highlights of this one, a preview of Pittsburgh as the Phillies win it 3-2. Stick around. Marlins Live is next.